I've been gone because I live underground. I'm Jordan.
Wow, and hi, I've been gone because I live in the sky. I'm Maddie.
Not really. I've been playing Baldur's Gate.
Oh, yes. But we were on a great journey across the nation. So now...
No, I live
back.
underground.
We'll go with that. But now we're back, so it doesn't matter. And we're visual.
Sometimes.
We're seen. We can be seen and heard.
I'm famous for having a face.
Okay. But welcome back to The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You. A podcast recapping every episode of the hit TV show Charmed.
This week we're doing Season 1, Episode 12, The Wendigo. I have been waiting for this episode because I love magical creatures.
Cryptids.
And I love turning into them.
Yes. Great.
I've been a Mothman, Chupacabra with my son.
You've not been any of these things.
I have. You don't
not
know
been
what
any
I do.
Of these things.
This
These
is
are
why.
lies.
This is why I'm tired in the morning. This is
All right.
because I'm doing tasks all evening.
All right.
Whatever. Okay. So this was written by Edith Swenson, and has she written anything before? Because I might just be repeating myself. I don't know. I kind of think she has, but she wrote an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, which I think is relevant.
Is that like
to
the
some
new
people.
Star Trek?
No, that's from 1992.
I'm sorry for offending the Star Trek people.
I know. Well, that's why I mentioned
don't
it.
know about
because
it.
I know there are Star Trek people. Oh my god.
I know there are Star Trek people.
Yeah, respect to you. And it was directed by James L. Conway, who also directed some Smallville and Supernatural. So
That's the era.
fan of the spooks.
Smallville. Wow. Before we get into the episode, important message that these two next episodes are going to be visual on YouTube for funsies because we've been gone for so long. But then after that, we're going to be leaving YouTube and the podcast will only be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So just so you know, if you're not already following us on those platforms or whichever one you prefer to listen to podcasts on, hop on over there. The links are in the description so you can keep listening to the pod once we leave the YouTube.
And leave us a good review if you haven't been on those yet, because my son, known Chupacabra,
He is a chupacabra.
he
That
is
the truth.
he is at my call, and he will harm anyone I say he should.
Yeah, see, I'm more so I thought you were going with like he
Would do a meet and greet, a
rips-
Chupacabra meet and greet.
No, he rips everything you own, and so he's expensive. So please leave a review
Oh.
because help.
True. He is he also will do things like eat a pack of gum, cost you $3,000. This is an ad for pet health insurance. Anyway.
Get it. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
Anyway, it's Quake.
So we immediately open up on Piper having a hard time on the side of the road. And that sounds kind of weird, but it's just car trouble. It's just car trouble.
And then we jump to Quake.
She's talking to Phoebe on the phone. I was like, who is that?
Phoebe, who's an expert mechanic because she dated a mechanic.
Yeah, so now she absorbed all his knowledge.
She is not Marissa Tomei and my cousin Vinny. My father was a mechanic. Three
His
uncles
father
on my
was a
brother's
mechanic.
side. Yeah, no. Just one boyfriend, and she knows how to change a tire.
Have you worked as a mechanic?
Yeah.
Oh, this part I love. Piper is like, I'll fix it myself. I got this. And so she takes a wooden spoon because, as a chef,
That's all she
every
has,
good
yeah.
chef has a wooden spoon in their car.
Of course, you never know.
She puts it into the whatever it is, the jack. I don't know what do you use on a car to crank it
The
up?
hole, the
But
bottom.
She's trying to crank it up
the
with
under.
a wooden spoon. Folks.
Yeah.
So pray for her.
Let her have her dreams.
Bless.
She is out of her mind, Phoebe says.
Out of her mind.
Hello? She is out of her mind.
Oh my God, and we hear a heartbeat, listening, watching Piper from the bushes. We just hear a heartbeat. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I don't like
Oh,
that.
I totally forgot. Oh, I'm sorry.
I will say this episode and the next episode, they're very horror movie vibes.
Oh, next episode spooks me the hell out still.
Very scary.
Yeah, still freaks me out.
Very scary.
I also love, oh my gosh, it would be weird if we didn't mention the drums. I don't know if people saw this. It was just popping up on my TikTok feed, which I don't really want it to.
I wanted to. What are you talking about?
Well, Shannon Doherty and Alyssa Milano and all of the people involved talking about just the way they didn't get along and the drama.
Has Alyssa Milano said anything? Oh, I didn't know she'd said anything.
Yeah. I don't know. We can talk about that more when we get to certain things. But I did just want to mention that, like, I don't know. Hopefully we can hear all the ridiculousness of that and, like, not let it affect the fun of the show. Yeah, because like, honestly, it does bum me out a lot.
It's definitely bummer city.
It's just such a bummer that, like, number one, this is like a show that was a big deal female empowerment wise, like in that kind of false 90s not really feminism
like, oh, you're
way.
So close to getting it.
But maybe like a thing that had to happen on the way to something more,
definitely a stepping stone,
more like real and solid. But it sucks that that is true, and then it's also true that there was so much
all the gals
drama and like it was very tumultuous.
And like instead of having the energy of like, oh my God, we're on this show together, we get to have all these scenes that are just like the three of us or the two of us or like whatever, and we're like building something amazing and all this stuff. It's just like we're fighting. We don't have the sister energy at all.
No.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah. And I mean, it does seem like it's probably all hinging on one person. But
it's like centered around one person.
For sure. And like that lines up with some other things about her that like didn't really make sense to me around the whole Me Too movement situation, which maybe I could,
which we could definitely get into.
That could be a whole other,
because that also involves someone who's not in the show
exactly
yet,
yeah so we can talk about it then.
But
you
could look up if you haven't seen.
You should look it up. Like, there was what Shannon initially said, and then
whatever.
But also maybe if you haven't seen the show before and you're like, just come,
maybe
don't look it up because you're gonna get super spoiled. You just wait a couple seasons. But
learn about the drama.
I think one other thing I would just say really fast is the other thing that really bums me out is that these are grown women.
Yeah.
And this happened so long ago. And granted, like, not all of them. It seems like Holly Marie Combs is like kind of what she is on the show. A rational,
like a middle child.
Yeah. But it's a bummer that there's no way to have resolution, and it just sucks that I'll never see all of them together.
Yeah, that is
like that won't happen.
Yeah, it's not like Buffy.
Yeah,
where like we can get the whole cast back together and everybody's really excited. It's like, we can't be in a
it's
room
icky. Yeah, it's icky.
Together.
And in fairness, I don't think that that's because of. I mean, I don't know. And it's also painful for me because I obviously loved Alyssa Milano.
Yeah.
And like a part of me will always love.
Well, I do feel like we kind of need to say like a little more about what exactly it is like that the drama was, just because. Like,
It's like vague.
Because like what I kind of it seems to me, which obviously I don't know because I wasn't there. But from everything I've heard and read, it kind of sounds like, Alyssa Milano grew up a child actor, literally had the Little Mermaid's drawing modeled after her childhood face. Like, that's quite an ego boost. And I can only imagine, and I've heard things about her mother too that sound kind of, oh, wowza. So it just kind of sounds like she was in a very toxic environment. And, when you grow up in that toxic environment, you kind of become a part of it. And sounds like she became kind of a toxic person and her mother was feeding it and she was feeding it. And then that is like, it became bad. And then who knows what role Shannon what's her name?
Doherty.
Who knows what role she played?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because she had problems with people on other shows.
And then it
which
does
is questionable.
Yeah, it does get tricky.
But then
because,
it's like, so I don't know. It sort of seems like, also it just seems like it was a very male environment. It's a 90s show being written, like, run by men essentially.
Well, no, the showrunner was a woman.
Okay, yeah, but
yeah, no, for sure, a male environment,
they're
a
not
male,
free from
a male,
the male
male
gaze.
studio execs, and not just male, but like the problem with like all the execs that's like still the same problem is that it's all nepotism,
Yeah, it's not
obscene
a good
amounts
it's
of
not
money,
a healthy environment
not
for
people.
women to be friends.
Well, yeah, also just not people who care about the success of a show. They really only care about money. So like if this show goes, they'll have another show. They don't care. But yeah, it bums me out a lot.
Yeah.
But also, I think this is getting real ADHD, so I'm sorry. But we've been talking a lot lately about like there's been this theme of kind of like the death of the celebrity, you know?
Yeah.
And even just like we just finished watching the other two, which was really fun. Just always
Good
talking about
show.
another show really just was great. And this idea, like, I think she's a really good example, Alyssa Milano, of like what happens if like you are just that egregiously famous.
Yeah.
Like you really, how could you be sane? And that doesn't excuse her behavior. I'm saying the opposite. Like fame is a disease.
Yeah,
Essentially.
definitely.
People think it's, of course she's wealthy. She has a voice. Whoa. She's wealthy. She has a voice. She can kind of get backing for a lot of things or pretty much whatever she wants. So what is her reality is whatever she defines it to be.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that's my digression about
The drama.
being sad that the ladies who basically carried me through my kind of lonely middle school, high school
Yeah, we're just
time.
like fighting with each other.
Yeah, such a bummer. When they got to do the coolest job ever.
Yeah.
Fight invisible, not real beasts.
I mean, that does actually sound kind of awful. Like sometimes when I think about like having to, because I'm currently, again, this is a digression. I'm so sorry, but I'm currently reading the last Harry Potter book.
Oh my God, this is like,
because I'd never read the books before.
yeah.
And I just, the idea of playing magic, like being one of these witches or like being a wizard in Harry Potter and having to like ruin it for yourself. I don't know. I mean, that's probably not how they see it, but like when I watch the videos of them like fighting and nothing's happening, I'm like, oh, this is
But the
depressing.
whole point of being an actor is that it has to feel real to you.
That doesn't make it depressing, not depressing to me. It's depressing to me. But anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's a lot of thoughts and feelings. We're back. Sorry.
We're twins.
Yep. We're back to, I love the word twins because I'm older. We're back at Quake. What originally started all of this was I love seeing these like very early scenes that stop happening at a certain point between Shannon Doherty and
they no longer exist.
Alyssa Milano, where they're
just the two of them,
neutral sister
and
behavior.
they seem like sisters. Like they're not like there's bickering. You can tell there's like tension, but they still like they're not like I don't want to be in a room with you.
Well, it's one of those funny things too, where clearly the like bickering and tension added to the sister dynamic.
Yeah. But Phoebe's talking at the table about how she wants a job at Buckland's. She's asking Prue for a job at Buckland's, which, doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
But then Prue hires her on the spot, and then immediately Phoebe says, "Can I get a ride?" So it's I just thought that was really funny. But we're back on the side of the road with Piper and this mysterious creature that is stalking us in the bushes. And she has, like Piper does in every single episode, I'm realizing as we do this podcast, she has a very funny line.
No problem. For I bear the power of one.
And then we hear a twig snap, which, is the quintessential,
We hear the suspiciously beating heart yet again.
And then Piper, because
we be running.
she's seen horror movies.
Yeah, she's running.
She takes off running.
But what I don't get is
nothing ever chases you when you run.
Right. I was like, what are we running to?
Yeah, nothing ever.
Can't we reason with it?
Like this whole sequence of events is so horror film, like the way it's shot.
For real though, shout out to the telephone booth.
Shout out to the telephone booth. No,
because you know what? There would be
booths.
no telephone booth. Granted, I don't think there would be a telephone booth then.
Modern day, she'd be dead. She hides in the telephone booth. The telephone booth saves her.
I'm
from
sorry
this
though.
creature.
I'm serious. Would there be a random telephone booth in like a park in San Francisco in 1998 or whenever this happened?
Who
like,
knows?
are there phone
I don't know where
booths?
she's supposed to be.
She's in San Francisco.
I don't think she's supposed to. But I don't know where exactly. San Francisco's not like one street.
My point is just, did we have telephone booths? I guess we did. In Adventures in Babysitting, there's a telephone booth. That's my telephone booth
What do you mean? Did we have telephone booths in the 90s?
I just meant in general. Like, I don't know.
Of course.
I thought we just kind of had phones hanging out there. Make a collect call. I guess
in
there
a
were...
telephone booth, you know?
Okay.
Or a payphone.
Cut this part out. I don't want anyone knowing I didn't know about the telephone booths.
Yes, you did. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you were there. For most of it.
I never found myself in a booth of phone.
Okay. I don't even know what that means.
A booth of phone.
But then we finally see the creature that is stalking us.
And it don't look good.
It basically just looks like a human covered in hair with a lot of wrinkles on its face.
Okay, rude. I mean, I would say it looks like a werewolf. Like, I don't know what a Wendigo
It looks
supposed
like
to look like.
I'm so sorry that I'm always just talking about Buffy, but it looks like a Buffy werewolf. It looks exactly like a Buffy werewolf. Like, that's the exact makeup and costume for the Buffy werewolf.
Pretty sure this happened before the Buffy werewolf.
Yeah, well,
maybe I
Team
made
Buffy,
it up. I mean, okay, we're watching Charmed. What do you mean? Team Buffy.
Team all of them. I'm sorry.
Team magical creatures.
Yes. But we see it's chasing us, and it's scary, you know. I'm alarmed.
It's scary.
I'm alarmed. I'm not alarmed.
Right.
And Piper hides in the phone booth, and it scratches her.
It scratches her. Which, not the best.
And I go, my eyebrows are up. Because what does that mean?
You know,
something's going to happen to your body.
Right, but when my dog scratches me, I don't become a dog. So I don't know if it would be my instant assumption.
Is that a dog?
A bit.
That's clearly not a normal creature to come across.
You haven't met my dog.
I have met your dog. And he's a chupacabra.
Yeah. But then random little white boy comes.
She says little like he's little. He's like a big
He's
white
medium.
Medium.
Okay, I'm sorry. Random medium white boy emerges from the tree line. Okay?
He shoots at the creature, and then the creature scurries off in a fright.
Wait, where did I give him a name? I thought I gave him.
Oh, okay. She's looking for if she
over
gave
here
this white man a name.
At 9:36, I give him a name, so we can wait.
Oh, so that's not yet. We don't.
No.
We're gonna get a name reveal later.
Yeah.
Be ready. But then we go into the intro, of course, and after the intro, what's the deal in the streaming app? What's the song? What's the horrible replacement song in the streaming? Soft blues music playing is what the subtitles said.
Did I look this up?
It's very ominous.
It's
sad,
very ominous.
sad.
And
it's like sad tears of a clown.
Oh, what a day. That's the streaming song. Who's it by?
But it's by Jody May. And it's sad.
It's like fla, fla, fla. It's not what I want to come into the episode
the OG song on the DVD is Down So Long by Jewel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jewel?
Much
What are you
better.
doing here, Jewel?
Also, shout out to our Charmed playlist on Spotify. You should be looking at our Charmed playlist on Spotify. If you look up on the Spotify, Charmed, Power of Two, it's there.
Great.
And it's got all the songs. As we go through the episodes, I'm going to be adding all the songs we talk about that are in the original, not the horrible replacement songs.
Right. We don't even know. We've been crying here today.
Here today.
No? Okay, so we're now
hospital.
in the hospital because of the unfortunate incident
Incident that we just talked
the
about.
big hairy man dog. Is it a man? We don't know.
It's also
anyway,
not a dog.
Okay, whatever. No one asked you.
But Phoebe and Prue are there to see Piper since she got attacked, and Piper's very shooketh. And of course Andy's there because Andy's the only cop in the entire city.
He's the only one. Oh, also, side note, I found my note about the opening song, and it just says, opening song is not hitting.
Not hitting.
Not hitting. I'm no offense to Jody May. That song could, be useful in another circumstance. I
Yeah,
guess.
just that's not the place. That's
Not
not the
in
time
charge.
or the place.
Okay, anyway. Andy being the only cop in the city.
And it's cute when at one point Andy's like, she's my sister too.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh.
Oh.
She doesn't care about Andy. What the
I
hell?
do. I just think that, I don't know. You just want your parents to be together.
Yeah. Well, maybe they will be. But also in this scene, we get a little note that is important that Piper's blood is AB neg, which is very rare.
I don't even know my blood type.
Remember it?
You know your blood type? Did you ever find out? No, our parents don't love us. Well, one of them's dead. Ooh, he can't tell me my blood type at all. Oh, yeah. Mr. Cryptid Hunter comes in and is just going to light a ciggy in the hospital.
Yeah, Mr. Cryptid Hunter seems to be a little bit...
He's like...
haunted by something.
He's definitely seemingly lost touch with reality.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking to him. His name's Billy. Billy is the guy who saved Piper from the creature.
Mm-hmm.
And we see this lady come around the corner in the hospital. She's a very small woman in a very large trench coat.
Right, with a very specific haircut.
Like, girl, that coat doesn't fit you. I don't know.
Maybe
we were low on budget.
How dare you come for the way she chooses to wear her coat?
I respect her in her cop coat.
She's
trying to wear that cop coat, you know?
She can make her own choices.
But she's from the FBI. At least that's what she says. She's from the FBI.
Honestly.
And she's hunting the creature.
Based on her haircut, she is immediately untrustworthy to me.
Yes.
I don't know why.
If you see her in the episode,
you'll
understand.
It's like coiffed in such a way. It's too trimmed and perfect.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't think it's right. And I don't know. There's something not right about it.
Also, when we were talking to Billy and Billy almost lit a cigarette in the hospital, it was very funny because Piper goes, oh, 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 and she like blows the lighter out. Mm-hmm. I thought that was so funny.
Also,
like the urgency. Like, oh, don't do that.
Also, Phoebe is being immediately inflammatory. Mm-hmm. She is suggesting, based on one distant conversation, that Andy is flirting with Miss Haircut.
Ugh.
Right. Not right.
Which, why would he?
She is a lover of chaos. She goes, cozy, aren't they? What? They're talking one time.
Shush. Just talking. Don't talk about our dad that way.
And Billy I immediately trust because of his chin. He's Mr. Cutie Chin.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But
I dub thee
oh my God.
Mr. Cutie Chin.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he tells us a little bit about why he is hunting this creature. But the FBI gal, she gives us some more information. She says that Piper is the first one to survive an attack from this creature, and that all the previous victims had their hearts ripped out. So that sounds not great.
That's worse than a baby scratch.
That's a little worse.
One stitch. Right.
Also, Andy does say that he kind of believes in cryptids, and of course he does. Because I wrote in my notes, because he's the perfect man.
Also, maybe some part...
The perfect man believes in cryptids.
Everyone should believe in cryptids, because why wouldn't they exist? Why wouldn't they? I was just Mothman the other day.
Cryptids don't believe in you.
If you saw Mothman streak across the sky, that was me.
Yeah.
85% chance.
Yes.
Could be the other guy. Yeah. Anyway.
But Billy tells us that his fiance was attacked by this creature. And he used fire against the creature to get it to leave him alone. And so that's how he knew to use the flare gun when Piper needed help. Mm-hmm. He shot the flare gun at the creature and the creature ran away. Doesn't like fire.
Universally, creatures really don't like fire.
Yeah.
No.
But he said that it ripped his fiance's heart out.
Not good.
That is trauma.
Yes.
Oh, so he wants to kill the creature, rightfully so. Understandably.
I would probably just move on.
I mean, I'd probably just end it all.
Yeah, I mean...
Check myself into the hospital.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd probably have to give me a lobotomy.
Like, that would help.
Well, that's just... Let's render it useless. Because
God.
saw a Wendigo.
Wow.
Anyway.
You can do it now.
So, next we have Piper and Prue in the kitchen. And Prue uses her mind's eye to spin the little dial when she could just walk 3 feet.
What little dial?
The oven.
Oh, you mean the stove?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's making enough oatmeal for 12 people. I did note that because I'm an oatmeal person.
She likes oatmeal.
I like oatmeal, and that's literally oatmeal that you would make for like a huge brunch. It's a huge pot of boiling oatmeal. Explain that to me.
I don't know about oatmeal quantities.
They're not going to eat all that oatmeal.
Sorry.
You can't really keep oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm really upset about that.
Incredibly
oatmeal.
autistic.
Like whoever, like it's one of those
observation.
things where I'm like, okay, this is where you can see the man coming through because somebody put that much oatmeal in that pot.
Whoever was like doing the set dressing.
I can't.
Oh, and Prue and Phoebe are like, girl, you gotta go to the doctor because that thing scratched you.
She was just at the hospital.
But I love it because they're talking about going to work, and Phoebe goes, whoa, head rush. Because when they're at work, like they're going to work together.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
That was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Piper's kind of obsessed with the creature, rightfully so, because she got attacked. She's scared. So is she looking in the book? Yeah, she's looking in the book for information.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, Piper, don't do anything unless we're all together, promise. And Piper's face is giving...
Piper's like, yeah.
I am lying.
I won't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Phoebe's nervous about working at Buckland's with Prue. She doesn't want to disappoint Prue since Prue gave her the job. So Piper gives her a little pep talk. It's actually really sweet and cute.
It is.
And then Piper, in the Book of Shadows, she finds a page about the Wendigo.
And she recognizes the drawing. She says, I know you.
She said, I know that man.
Or woman or they.
They, them, non-binary Wendigo creature.
There should be like an arcane bullshit shit post that's like, don't misgender your Wendigo
Yeah,
friend.
Wendigos prefer they, them.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume.
I'm sorry, I had a cough.
You gonna make a speech now?
No.
Okay. Ooh, so we're at work. We're at Buckland's. We're looking at all the
items.
little items.
Yes, and they look at one specific item, which is a
God
gold.
damn it. I'm sorry. I need to go back. I'm sorry. No, because I keep not following my notes because I'm afraid to read with everyone looking at me. I don't know. But I love it on the Wendigo page. I don't know if you read it, but it goes, the Wendigo.
I did pause it and read it.
Yeah.
And
The Wendigo is a non-dead creature.
Non-dead.
Non-dead. I myself.
A dead creature.
Non-dead creature.
I'm a dead creature.
I know you are. I buried you myself.
Wow.
She's an apparition. Oh, to be a non-dead creature wandering the earth, feasting on human hearts. And honestly, if I ate the heart of every person who betrayed me,
I'd be fat.
I'd be like fat and diseased.
I'd have a few illnesses from people.
You know, sometimes you just gotta move on, Mr. Wendigo.
Some people's blood isn't clean.
It could be like what we do in the shadows. We drank some drug blood.
We drank some drug
Now we're
blood.
on drugs.
Now I'm a wizard.
Right, literally.
We're at the auction house. Prue and Phoebe are there working because, Phoebe just got a job. And they're going to look at this one specific item. And it's a gold bracelet. And Phoebe's like, ooh. And when she picks it up, because this is her thing, when she picks it up, she sees a premonition of the past. She sees a past car accident. And
Yes.
my first immediate thought when she asked for a job at Buckland's was,
I know.
No.
Yeah. You want to touch
it's
stuff all day?
historical items.
Yeah.
Things being auctioned off. You don't want to touch these things.
Listen, she's desperate.
But yeah, she immediately sees a car accident where somebody drove their car right off a cliff.
Right off the cliff. And then we see a little heart
little
bracelet.
That's the bracelet laying
in the dirt. In the dirt.
And it's going in the dirt. How many different movies is that now?
Also, I know we should have a count, a cultural count.
Like,
Also, Prue says the stuff that doesn't sell gets tossed.
Yeah, what?
Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
I feel like there's no way that. Maybe they give
I
it
would
to
assume,
maybe they just drop it off.
like, hello, drop that off at the vintage store, but please make sure
Yeah.
it's not haunted first. Let's do a haunt
It better
check.
be haunted. Excuse you. But yeah, so this now Phoebe's like, I got to deal with this.
I know.
I
She's
got to figure out
like,
whose bracelet
God,
this
when
is.
you know now you have to help someone.
And it's also about to go up for sale. So she's the
Right.
clock's a ticking. She's got a limited
yeah, we
amount of
can't
time.
First Wives Club this.
Yeah. But we're back at Quake, and Billy is talking to Piper again. They're talking about the Wendigo, talking about what happened, talking about what they know. And this, folks, is where I go on my Wendigo spotlight. Pew,
Great.
pew, 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 pew. So, So what? That was good. It was like it was going across space.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But what Phoebe says, and you might have to.
I will.
What Phoebe says a Wendigo is, which bear with, whoopee. She says that it's a human during the day. It's a Wendigo at night. It survives by eating hearts. The first Wendigo was a human that was betrayed by his lover, cut out her heart, and ate it. Why would you do that? That's weird.
Why not?
Know.
Why not?
But that's where
Don't be judgmental.
That's where Phoebe says, not Phoebe, I'm so sorry. Different P word. That's what Piper says is the Wendigo, is the origin of the Wendigo. Not sure why it attacked Piper if it cares about love and couples. That's what she says at this point. They're not sure why it attacked her.
Also, quick sidebar. Billy says, what is it attracted to? Maybe beauty?
Like, maybe beauty?
Yeah, he's like, oh,
we're
always flirting.
Mr. Cutie Chin, though. No, but he says it in this sad boy way. We're like, I will never really be accessible again because of the incident.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, continue your Wendigo.
Sad boy.
Wendigo correction rant.
Yes, and then the last thing she says about the Wendigo is that it strikes within the 3 days of the full moon. Because that's the cliche. Everyone loves to blame the full moon.
I mean, there are a lot more coyotes out on the full moon.
Okay, well, coyotes don't just rip your heart out and leave for no reason.
That's because they're my sons.
Exactly. But then true Wendigo info. And I'm psychotic, so I've got a lot of information about this, so I'll try to just, bless. But the truth about the Wendigo.
Oh, wow. She wrote an essay for school.
Well, I'm not going to do all this.
Okay.
It's fine. I was just very interested, and this was more for me.
Yeah.
I've got literally a full page of information. But the Wendigo is a cannibalistic monster. And it originates from the North American indigenous people, specifically the Algonquin-speaking tribes. It's associated with winter. And it's described as either a fearsome beast that stalks and eats humans, or a spirit that possesses humans, causing them to turn into cannibals. So some tribes don't even see the Spam interrupting our podcast?
Not this.
We'll have to call the police.
Not this.
So some tribes don't even see it as a physical being. They see it as like a spirit or kind of a demon that possesses a human. But other tribes say it's an actual creature, a physical creature. Yeah, and in certain indigenous languages, the name Wendigo directly translates to winter cannibal monster. So that's really what it means. Oh, yeah, but in terms of how it looks, and this is why I was like, this does not look like a Wendigo.
Oh, wow.
The legends and mythology says that Wendigos can be huge, like a giant creature up to 15 feet tall. Or as a beast that grows larger and larger the more that it eats. So it's like it can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know why they made it look like a werewolf, because a lot of the mythology says that it has ashen flesh, sharp yellowed fangs and claws. It may have sunken in or glowing eyes. So honestly, sounds a lot scarier than how they're depicting it.
I wonder what, it's another one of those things where it's like, there's no point, but I wonder why they could have made it more like the guys from Hush, not to constantly reference
more
Buffy.
Skeleton-y, more like sunken, like a corpse.
That's interesting. I guess they decided Wendigo, werewolf.
Yeah, well, they weren't doing a whole lot of research.
Yeah.
But one thing that really creeped me out that I saw in some of the mythology is that they would say that the lips of the Wendigo were gone because the Wendigo had eaten its own flesh. Ugh, very scary.
Not
and
a
that
great
they also say that it smells of rotten flesh.
Oh.
And some mythologies do say that it has some fur. So I guess they're not it's fine. But they went full furry beast. So I think that's kind of silly. But they say it smells really, really bad. And some mythology says that they have antlers and horns. So honestly, Wendigo's scary, way scarier than it looks here. I do think it's interesting, the concept of the Wendigo and the story of the Wendigo in terms of our culture, because also over time, a lot of indigenous people, more modern indigenous people, there've been, all the genocide of the indigenous people has happened, and now we're living in this modern society. There's this thing called Wendigo psychosis. And like it was like for a short period of time, they were doctors were diagnosing people with it. It was basically just like it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's not being diagnosed anymore. I think that this concept of the Wendigo is really interesting, especially like when we get obsessed with it in modern stuff. Like there was a video game recently where the Wendigo was the evil thing, But the story of the Wendigo for indigenous people, it's said comes from, it's like a cautionary tale about the importance of community. And a cautionary tale about greed, like against greed. Because basically the Wendigo is like a person who became selfish and became isolated and so turned cannibalistic and crazy. And that like greed turned them like, ravenously hungry. So I think that's really interesting too, to think about the Wendigo as like, why are we telling this story? And it's about like, you got to stick together with your people, protect each other, not get selfish, not get individualistic, all that stuff. Basically everything we're doing now.
I was going to say basically what happened with the cast of Charmed.
Oh my God. But that's my little Wendigo information. They sound way scarier in mythology.
But we're back to Mr. Cutie Chin, Billy, and Piper having this conversation at Quake. And at the end of the conversation, Piper stands up, gets all dizzy. Whoa. So, step 1,
getting dizzy.
dizziness.
Getting dizzy.
Symptoms, dizziness. And you know what? I get dizzy all the time. So, could be me. Could be me next. Honestly, maybe the heart is simply a delicacy in Wendigo culture. You don't know. Also, I would just say, I don't need to see Andy and Agent Fallon, which sounds like a fake name.
Oh, it might be.
Talk, but they're gonna make me.
But also in real mythology, because we're going to start talking about how can we kill this Wendigo. In real mythology, the Wendigo, it says that the Wendigo has to be killed with either silver, steel, or iron bullet or dagger. And some legends say that you have to cut the Wendigo's heart out and melt it because it's as cold as the winter ice.
Wow.
Yeah. But this FBI agent and Andy are talking about the case. And I don't know. I don't trust this lady. She seems weird.
She's got a fake name and fake hair.
Yeah.
And then we see Billy run up to Miss Fake Name, Fake Hair.
Oh, but we also do get a little bit of information from her and to Andy in that scene that all the victims were AB negative. So that could be why the creature went after Piper.
That's why I said maybe that's why AB negative heart, a delicacy.
A delicacy.
But yeah, so Billy runs up to fake Agent Fallon, fake name, fake hair, and he goes with her to the parking garage.
Now he's following her to her car and he's telling her everything he knows.
And
he knows pretty much all of it.
Right. Pretty close.
She's like,
And she's
you can tell something's weird.
She's kerfuffled.
You can tell she's being weird.
And then he goes to light his cigarette and she recoils.
I loved it. We got to put this. We'll put this on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll put this on Instagram. He lights the lighter to light his cigarette and she goes,
yeah,
my God.
We can redo the scene.
Yes.
So she kills him. She kills my sweet Mr. Cheeks and Chin.
And just like that, he's dead on the ground.
He's gone. Bye, Billy.
Dead on the ground. So she's the Wendigo. So now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know who the culprit is.
Mm-hmm.
And she also invited Andy to a stakeout.
Right.
Which is scary.
And Andy
they're going to be alone together.
Doesn't always have the best instincts.
No.
If you know what I mean.
And then we're back at Buckland's. And Phoebe is talking to Prue about the crash that she had a premonition of. She found the people who were in the crash.
Right. And also she got it on the web.
Yes, on the web, the good old web.
She got it on the web.
So I got on the web and started snooping around.
I also forgot to tell you, but I feel that Agent Fallon is also Miss Tiny Earring.
One tiny earring?
I think she's wearing 2 tiny earrings, but my point is I don't trust anything about the hair, the name, the tiny earring.
Lovely.
That's just the truth.
But Phoebe found that the bracelet belonged to a 5-year-old girl who was kidnapped by her father, and her mother never knew what happened to her, I guess. Which I feel like there's a lot of holes in this.
Yeah.
Because if you get in a car accident as a 5-year-old girl and the guy, did he die? Did her dad die? And then she didn't?
I don't
know. You get picked up by the ambulance, they get your information, and then they see that you're a missing child, and then they call your mom. So I'm like, I do find it very confusing.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Like when I was watching it, I was like, this is nice, weird, random B story.
It was wholesome.
But it was like out of nowhere. We're in the middle of fighting this Wendigo. I was like, why are we doing this? It was kind of strange.
Yeah, it was
I
interesting.
don't know. I felt like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're figuring our lives out.
But the boss lady at Buckland's comes in and she's like, ooh, nice bracelet. Let's sell this thing. And Phoebe's like, no. Don't. I have to give it back to who it belongs to. Oh, and Piper's at work.
Yes, at Quake.
Sweating.
Stage 2. Sweating your ass off.
Stage 1, lightheaded, fall down, go boom.
She never falls down.
She would have.
Mild dizziness.
If Billy hadn't caught her, she would have stumbled backwards.
Well, shuffle
And then
back.
stage 2, sweating.
Sweaty as hell. And of course the inspector shows up and is
she's
like,
sweaty as hell.
why are you like this?
Yeah, he's like, do you have the flu?
Right. No, and I love she goes into she's
herself
putting
in the
the
freezer.
frozen. She puts herself in the freezer, puts the frozen meat all over her. Excuse me, what are you doing with the meat?
Excuse me, what are you doing with that meat?
Dying.
Yeah, so the guy's like, you're gonna have to get out of here.
You're gonna have to go home, or
because
I'm shutting you guys
you're putting
down.
your sweaty, diseased
She's like,
ass
okay,
all
I'll
over the
go
meat. Yeah, she's like, fair.
And then we're at the crime scene in the parking garage where the Wendigo FBI woman, pretend FBI Wendigo woman, killed Billy.
Right.
So they found Billy's body and they're like, oh my God, why would the Wendigo do this? This is during the day.
Yeah,
They
she
broke
goes.
their neck. They didn't eat the heart.
Yeah, she's really trying to feed it to him. She's like, this doesn't go with our MO. Suppose it could be random. Red flag.
Yeah, like what? How is this random, gal?
Like it just happens to be Billy and you just happen to have chatted with him. I mean, I guess people don't know that, but I know that.
And then she says, maybe Billy had information and the Wendigo found out that Billy had information and the Wendigo killed him before he could talk to me. So she's kind of telling him the truth, but she left out the part where she's the Wendigo.
Which you would leave out, in fairness, if you want to continue being a Wendigo.
Crazy lady.
In our next scene, we're doing the auction. And can I tell you, not me, feeling anxious that the bracelet might feel bad that no one's bidding on it.
What?
I am autistic.
The bracelet wants to go back to where it belongs.
Okay,
the
fair.
bracelet doesn't want to be bought.
I just, it's like how, I have that thing where if there's like 2 shirts of different colors,
like,
I feel like I can't leave the shirt alone. I don't know. This is how my brain works.
Yeah.
What can you do? Pretend I never said it. God. But yeah, just at the last minute, Phoebe figures out what's going on with this.
Yeah, and it still doesn't really make any sense to me. Am I just not understanding? Because it's like as she's finding it, I'm like, what?
I mean, I guess the father abducted her, and that bracelet was maybe lost in a car accident, but that didn't change the fact that she was like with her father, abducted.
Yeah, and like her mom never saw her.
Yeah. So I think it's not supposed to be complicated. It's just like.
But it's so funny because once the bidding starts and they're trying to keep anyone from getting the bracelet because they want to get it back to where it belongs, Prue uses her power to fling everyone's paddles out of their hands when they lift them and onto the ground. Yeah. And it's hilarious. Everyone's just like, oh.
I know. Nobody's like, I'm leaving.
Like, I swear, this would, if like people always act like in these magical shows that people just move on from things like this. I would be forever changed.
I don't know, though. I think that people in those situations just like find a way to make excuses.
I guess, but I'm just like,
that's like what the brain
I swear
would
to
do.
God, something pulled my paddle out of my hand. But then they succeed, and Phoebe picks up the bracelet so they can take it where it belongs.
So then we see the scene where Piper comes down the stairs. She goes to the door. It's Andy. Hello,
Andy's
Andy.
at the door.
She's like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
And it's seeming a little off because her wound is just gone. Just a normal arm. And then,
oh my God,
instant Wendigo.
Like, why didn't they go for corpse?
I don't know.
They should have, like, it's just weird that she looks like a werewolf. I don't know. It's weird.
But so then Piper wakes up. Like, that was not real. She was dreaming, and it was not a good dream.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, and she still has her wound. She's still clammy as hell.
Yeah, she's still sweating.
Not
But
doing good.
Andy's at the door.
So she's like
in her
hell
dream.
no.
So she's like, was that like a premonition kind of? Like, am I
Right.
going to attack Andy?
She doesn't want to let him in. That's for sure.
So she tells Andy to get lost. She says, I have the flu. But then he tells her that Billy's been killed. So she's like, what? And she opens the door.
Yeah, she's very much so like, please leave.
And she's also confused because it's daytime. How could Billy have died in the daytime?
I also love when Charmed is just hella on the nose.
Yeah.
Because Piper goes, who else could it have been? And then the Wendigo lady walks in.
Yeah, it's exact time. I love that. I do
For
love that
God's
sort of
sake.
thing. But the Wendigo woman wants to ask Piper a few questions. She wants to know exactly how much of what Billy knew.
She's
'Cause-
probing.
Piper is telling, Andy's now hearing for the first time too, though, that the Wendigo looks like a person during the day. So Piper knows all the information Billy knew. So there was kind of no point to killing Billy.
Right, unless you're going to kill Piper right now.
Which, good luck.
Yeah, and then she's very interested in looking at Piper's wounds.
Yes.
And at this point, it's like
She's being creepy.
we're playing in, like, directorially, we're like making a
she's the
horror
villain,
thing.
full
Yeah.
villain. Like she says, I
Hope you didn't get infected.
Like, okay.
Hope you didn't get infected by it.
Seems like I did for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very old school horror movie, and I love that. I love those shots.
Yeah. And Andy's like, get some sleep. And she's like, I probably won't because I'm haunted by my dreams. And I feel clammy as hell.
And when they leave, she takes her bandage off to look at her wound, and it's all hair.
Maybe this all could have been solved with a nice Epsom salt bath.
Oh my God. I don't think so.
Oh, I don't like the hairy arm.
I'd be chopping the arm off.
No. Yeah.
Nope.
Maybe
Like
that's what
Walking
they should've done.
Dead style.
Walking Dead style. Yeah, just chop that baby
Yeah.
off.
No, ma'am.
You should add a little counter of every reference. Ding. And there's like
Yeah.
another tally. Now we're kind of closing up the story with the bracelet, and it's actually very
It's very sweet.
cute. Yes.
Yes, Phoebe's at the. Is it this the home of the mom? She's at the home of the mom, and she's got the daughter like around the corner waiting to see her mom.
Yeah.
She's showing her the bracelet first. She's like, I think you know what this is. And at first, she's kind of alarmed. She's
And
like,
she's
go
like,
away.
get away from me.
But then
gal."
she's like, she wins her over, saying some
which is
nice
good
stuff.
considering she's in the hall.
And then
And
they
it's
reunite.
Cute. They reunite,
And it's really nice.
Yeah, and even that made me sad. Shannon Doherty and
Yeah.
Alyssa Milano
Yeah, 'cause
embracing
they have a
in
cute
such
moment
a
where
fashion.
they touch
yeah.
heads. They touch little heads.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Prue even has that little comment where she says, I guess the bracelet was worth a lot more than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because it has sentimental value.
Sentimental. That's another one.
Yeah. House arrest. Ding.
Dang.
And then we're back to our sad reality of Wendigo life.
Yeah, well, because
Prue
the
gets a
reason
call.
why I said I got this story, this little storyline's nice, but it does feel kind of crazy and random because the whole time I was like, okay, Piper's not doing good. She's at home
maybe
alone,
they're just-
growing hair and
They're
sweating.
just building suspense.
Oh my God. But then we're at the park and Andy and the Wendigo lady are walking around the park and I was just laughing this whole scene.
Oh my God,
because
no.
they
They're
are wearing
dressed
the same coat.
Wait, I
They're
said
wearing
the same
exact same coat, same size.
Yeah.
Same everything, like exact same detective coat. And it's full body shots, the whole scene. So I was just laughing. Like, even now I'm looking at it and
It's
I'm like,
so funny.
why are they wearing
Even
the same
like,
coat?
I don't know.
And they
It's
got the
so
same
bad.
haircut,
That's
almost.
not the don't
Almost
insult
the same
his hair.
Okay, his hair's better than hers,
Yeah.
but almost the same haircut, same blue upper. Like he's got a blue tie, she's
And
got
white,
a blue
blue
shirt,
and white.
white shirt underneath, and then the same exact coat.
Yeah.
And they both have their hands in their pockets.
Oh my God,
Like,
yeah.
It's like who was directing this? That they were like, that's perfect.
Is it intentional? Like, do you think they're trying to be like, oh, she's mimicking
Yeah,
him?
maybe it's,
she's
maybe it's
I
like
don't
she's
know.
not a real FBI agent. She's just like serving fake. This is what I think an FBI
It really
agent
is
looks
such a
like.
weird choice
but
though,
it's
because it's like
bizarre.
honestly, their matching little outfits are distracting. Also, shout out to this blessed be to this actress, but those tiny little 90s eyebrows, I hope they have recovered.
She plucked those to oblivion, or somebody did. Yeah, well, they were all in it. I missed that, thank God.
Yeah.
But she's kind of spilling her information about herself, talking about heartbreak she's had, kind of being weird and coming on to Andy.
Yeah, I feel like she's setting it up to kill him.
Yeah, like she's kind of like
she's just
I'm
like
gonna
this
seduce
is
him
she's
and then
like
I'm gonna rip his heart out.
She's like Atlas playing with a lizard before he eats it.
Oh my God. Okay, he doesn't want to eat it at all. He plays with it and then it dies and then he moves on. It's horrible.
Does that not sound similar?
Exactly.
I guess she wants to eat the heart,
Yeah.
but
at least she's gonna eat part of it.
yeah, it's a delicacy. But is he AB?
But yeah, she basically
negative?
tells her Wendigo origin
Oh, he
story.
is. He says he's AB negative.
Yeah,
Right.
he says that. And then we're back at the manor with the gals, and Piper reveals her hairy arm.
And it makes Phoebe stand up and get away.
She said, I'm getting away from this
She said,
gal.
oh, hell no.
She said, no. And Piper's also getting irritable. She's getting angry. She keeps snapping at them and being mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's
being a
sassy.
little grumpy umpus.
Which, I mean, I would be.
Yeah.
You know.
And Phoebe picks up the FBI agent's card, or who they think is the FBI agent, and she's like, she's gonna attack Andy. She sees it when she picks up the card that Andy's in trouble.
Ashley Fallon.
Yeah, it just said Wendigo.
Oh my God, and the transformation is so funny.
It just doesn't make any sense.
But also, shout out to Phoebe's premonition, most underrated power.
Yeah, and she has two in this episode. Two important ones in this episode.
Yeah, and see, they all thought it was a man.
Yeah, they all thought it was
Another reason we need feminism.
Women can be Wendigo too.
Murderous beasts.
Women can be cryptids just as much as
Just
men
as much
can.
as they want to. I was just a Loch Ness monster. It was great.
The other day.
Yeah, it was just, just for a second.
Yeah.
Had
But
a
then
long neck.
We're up in the attic. We're trying to figure out what to do. We're looking at the Book of Shadows. We don't know what to do. Piper's in trouble. Andy's in trouble. Looking at the Wendigo page. It's got a lot of misinformation on it.
Yeah, and they check the note at the end. Yeah, not really. They check the note at the end
Is
of
it in Latin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Latin.
Yeah.
It's Latin for what? What did she say?
I don't know.
Look up things that are yearned for.
Right.
So they have to look up things that are yearned for in the book, which I don't understand.
Right.
But, But they find that they have to kill the Wendigo that scratched Piper by melting its heart of ice. So that part is true to mythology. They have to melt its heart.
And you can't even warn Andy because he's on a weird matching jacket date with a demon. And his phone's off.
Date. Matching jacket date.
New trend, matching jacket date. You and your date have to wear matching jackets. But when Prue says she knows the Latin and she translates the Latin, Piper's like almost Wendigo state goes, yeah, you're so very smart.
Yeah, you're so very smart.
I just love that.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decide they need to go save Andy and try to kill the Wendigo, but they don't want Piper to go anywhere, so they're gonna handcuff Piper to like a pipe, like that's gonna hold
You need
her.
a cage to put this hoe in.
And when they're doing it, she goes, "No, go to hell.
Yeah.
Screw you, bitch."
Screw you, bitch.
Now, how did Piper miss the part
like
in the book
Exorcist.
about becoming a Wendigo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, shout out to Phoebe for having those handcuffs.
Yeah,
That's something I can respect.
yeah.
Anyone should know that the cuffs aren't going to hold her. Like they should know that.
Yeah. They're also going to go to the Army-Navy store to get a flare gun. Which, what the fuck is an
that a
Army-Navy
thing?
store?
The Army-Navy store?
You ever been to the Army-Navy store?
Comment down below for the info on the Army-Navy
Like, is that where the Army shops? I don't understand. Is that where the Army sells things they
Is
don't
that
need?
what it's called? The
Is it
Army
run by
Navy
the
store?
Army?
Is it on a base? Is this Bass Pro Shops?
Yeah.
Ew.
I
And-
just the way she's flirting with him while she's wearing the exact same outfit as him and has almost the exact same haircut as him, I just can't. It's like, what's going
Also,
on?
I'm sorry, but I just feel that people have types, and if Andy's into Prue and the way
Definitely
she's
not into her.
she's basically inaccessible if that's what Andy's into, if that's his attachment style, why would he be into this woman who's stroking his jacket, of which she's wearing the same jacket?
Yeah.
No.
Back at the manor, Piper's changing.
It's not going good. She's got yellow eyes.
She's becoming a Wendigo.
Yeah. Step 1, dizziness. Step 2, sweating a lot. Step 3, bad dream. Step 4, hairy
Yellow
arm.
eyes.
Step 5, yellow eyes. Then immediate Wendigo.
And then it's just, there's no more steps, so you're a Wendigo.
Suddenly you have like the stature of whatever this is.
Yep.
Somebody.
Lovely full moon shots this episode.
And also, frankly, shout out to the hair and makeup. Even if the general choice, the direction is weird,
it's not their fault.
I hate CGI.
Oh, yeah. I'd way rather see makeup in costume.
I hate the reliance on CGI.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine if you're going to make somebody, like, fucking and disappear.
Yeah.
But we don't need to make all creatures CGI. Boo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But this Wendigo lady, just her hand changes into a Wendigo.
Ugh.
So she's like got her hand kind of hidden. She's ready to swipe at Andy, give Andy a swipe.
Mm-hmm.
But then Andy's like, I'm not really interested, gal. Can you chill? We're doing a stakeout. And then she's like, full Wendigo, time to eat your heart.
Mm-hmm. Love that she's a skinny little hoe and a honkin' hairy beast.
Yeah. But Andy's trying to fight the Wendigo off, trying to get away.
Yeah.
He shoots several times and it does nothing, obviously, because that's not how you kill a Wendigo. Andy is passed out, and the Wendigo is cutting him
about
open.
To feast.
About to eat his heart.
Slicing it open.
Like, gals, hurry
yeah,
up.
honestly, move it. They're walking casually.
Yeah, they're casually walking. Oh, but the Wendigo gets spooked, immediately spooked, which I don't really understand why that would happen.
Right, like, you could have just gotten the heart real quick if you really wanted to.
Well, also just, like, smack them and then
go,
like, hello.
The Wendigo's stalking them, and then they see it.
And it's clopping over like a weird Bigfoot.
Yeah, like a Bigfoot. And the thing, they shoot the flare gun.
And that spooks it and it runs
But really,
off.
why shoot when you could run and scream?
It's a Wendigo.
You're right.
Oh my God. But the flare keeps the Wendigo at bay.
Yeah, and Phoebe's like, Andy's dead.
And then now there are 2 Wendigos.
Right, because one of them's Piper.
And they're like, which one is Piper?
We don't know.
So Piper Wendigo freezes the flare in the air.
Yeah, thank God, because otherwise they would have shot
Prue chose
Piper.
the wrong Wendigo to shoot at. But luckily Piper has powers, so that came in clutch.
Yeah, would that not have been a completely traumatic twist?
Oh my God, can you imagine murder your own Wendigo sister?
It's also funny how one of my favorite episodes of Charmed, this one, and one of my favorite episodes of Buffy are both about eating hearts.
Ooh.
Like I said, a delicacy.
A delicacy. But they do see that Andy's okay. Andy's all right. He's just passed out and bleeding a little.
Mm-hmm. And I also do feel like this is an example of why I end up, like, obviously I watch new shows, whatever, but I end up rewatching and watching old shows because I just think they were made with more respect for the audience.
Yeah.
Like, the point of being an audience member is to, like, have fun. If this were made now, Andy would have been, like, ripped to shreds.
Yeah, it's all about shock value.
It was all for shock value. Like, how shocking can you be?
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we can just not have that happen.
Yeah, that'd be great. How about just not trauma?
Yeah.
But then Prue, once Wendigo Piper freezes the flare, Prue uses her power to move the flare to the right Wendigo, the FBI agent Wendigo, and then it hits her in the heart, and her heart melts.
Melts.
Yes. Success.
Yeah. It's a very dancerly death. It's balletic.
It's balletic. It's like dance.
It's
And then
another
it kind of disintegrates into nothing. Mm-hmm. And once Piper becomes a human again, she naked.
Yeah, I was going to say plus, no longer a Wendigo. Negative is you are naked in the woods.
You are naked in the woods. In a city, too.
Not
just
great.
like in the woods. Like,
yeah.
You got to get back to the car.
Yeah. She's like, whoa, I'm naked in the woods.
And Andy heals, I assume, because the Wendigo died. And
I
then
would
he
hope, yeah.
Wakes back up.
Andy wakes up and he's like, Prue, what are you doing here? It's like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Haven't you figured this out?
Like, it's me. Of course it's me. You need help. And then we're back at Quake. And we're wrapping it up. We're decompressing.
We're no longer a Wendigo.
We're like, oh my God, wasn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. Not again.
And we're sad about Billy because Billy died.
Yeah, poor Billy.
Rest in peace, Billy.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of the first time they really lose like Piper said.
Innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also talk about, they're like, Prue, what did you tell Andy when he woke up? And Prue's like, I told him the truth. And they're like, maybe he could handle more truth.
Which, of course, he can. But not in a 24-hour time span.
No,
like
give him like a week to figure it out. Or like show him more of what that means.
Also,
you know?
if you just tell him and then time passes, he's going to have no choice but to believe it because weird stuff is happening around you.
Yeah, he's going to be like, okay, this makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and we obviously established too that Phoebe cannot be touching antiques all day.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, I can't work there. Sorry, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. She's like, no. Yeah, and, you know, continued story, Phoebe needs to find her own life.
Yeah, Phoebe needs her own place
Separate
in the world.
from her sisters.
Piper also tells a Wendigo joke, but they're not ready.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm traumatized still.
Yeah.
She says a sassy thing. And she's like, it's a joke, you silly goose.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're cute people, even if we didn't get along.
But that's the Wendigo.
Woohoo. And
Very fun.
next week, I'm going to be scared.
Next week, we're going to be very scared.
Be
much more scared than we were this week.
Much more.
But thank you for listening. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at The Power of Two Pod. And don't forget to give us a review and rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Hit that little 5 stars. Otherwise, I will cry. I'm very sensitive. Also, we've got little Spotify interactive questions and polls on the Spotify app if you listen on Spotify. So check that out. Woo. And remember, we're going to be moving off of YouTube eventually after the next episode. So make sure you're ready to listen on other platforms.
Woo. Bye.
Bye. The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You is a Vanderland Productions podcast hosted by Jordan and Madison Vanderland, produced and edited by Madison Vanderland. All featured charmed audio and video clips are registered to the original copyright holders.